Hey, what's cracking? This is Jeremy McDuffie, aka the Fat Man, helping you become perfectly healthy in tone, or what I like to call fat. So, today I wanted to discuss something with you, and it's about cooking. You know, have you noticed that people don't really cook anymore? Like I can talk to people, and the first thing that they'll say is, "Hey, I don't have time to cook," or "I can't afford to cook good food," or there's some kind of excuse that gets in the way. And I've always thought in and of myself that you have to learn how to cook in order to be healthy. And I'll tell you a story from my own personal journey. I've been an athlete pretty much all my life. I started playing basketball in middle school, continued in high school, got a scholarship to college to play basketball, and then went on to play, some semi-pro basketball as well. So I've been pretty much an athlete all my life. And when I got into my 30s, I suddenly became inactive. And as a result of that inactivity, I gained 35 pounds. And me being an athlete all my life, I realized that I knew the physical components of being able to reduce my weight. There's no problem for me to get in the gym and do the running and hitting the treadmill and all of that other stuff because I'd gone that route before. I knew about it. It was familiar to me. But what wasn't familiar to me was being able to put the right foods into my body. So for example, when I was in high school, what I thought was a great post-game meal was going to McDonald's. And after every high school game, we would stop at some McDonald's. If we were playing out of town, we would stop at McDonald's. And then I would get a quarter pounder, a big thing of fries, have iced tea, because you know at McDonald's iced tea is free, or have a soda. So I grew up with that. So, when you're younger, nutrition doesn't affect your body as much because there's no accumulation. And we are an accumulation of the things we put into our bodies over a period of years. So I continued that practice in college. So even after our college games, what they would do was they would bring in, when the game was over, we would go pile into the locker room. Coach would have his speech or whatever. And then we would immediately have 5 or 6 boxes of pizza sitting there waiting for us and Cokes. So that was my idea of a great, again, post-game meal. So I never really learned the nutrition component. So as I got older and I started to gain weight, the one thing that I had to tackle was learning how to eat properly. And I find that that's the most difficult for a lot of us to learn how to do because no one teaches us that. Our parents, pretty much grow up with the same things that we've grown up with. They don't know what's healthy to eat and what's not healthy. So as kids, we're taught the same nutritional habits, or we learn those same nutritional habits from our parents rather. And this affects you when you get a little bit older. So for me, going back to my story, for me, I knew the physical component, but I didn't know the nutritional component. And the one thing that helped me was when I started on my journey to lose those 35 pounds, I discovered a book called Body for Life. I read that book cover for cover. I don't know if anybody, watching the video is familiar with that, but it's a really good book. Teaches you how to get in the gym, do what you need to do, 45 minutes of working out, and then you're out of there. It's a very good book. I would recommend that if you're just starting out. Now, after I got done with Body for Life, I realized that even though I knew, again, the physical of it, I didn't know anything about nutrition. And I was lucky enough to discover Eating for Life. It's the same author that does the Body for Life. He came out with a book called Eating for Life. And Eating for Life gave me the foundation on how to eat. It's filled with a lot of healthy recipes. Only gripe I had about that book is that they use Splenda in some of their desserts, and I don't agree with that artificial sweeteners thing. I know that those aren't really good, but I never indulge in those types of desserts. I just used it for the other recipes to really learn how to eat healthy. So I'm going to tell you something, and this might be a slap in the face to you, but here's my philosophy. I don't think anyone can get healthy if they do not know how to eat. And by eat, this is what I want to say about that. By eating, I mean that you cannot eat at McDonald's, Taco Bell, all these places, no matter how many things they come out with on their healthy menus to try to get people in and, draw them in so they can make more money. You can't eat at those places and expect to get healthy. And here's why. You don't know what's going into your food. A lot of restaurants cut corners because you have to realize that a restaurant is a business. They are in business to make a maximum profit by reducing their expenses. That's just business 101. I've been in, my degree is in business, not saying anything about that. But, you learn that about businesses, that you're in business to make money. So how do you do that? You cut corners, you reduce costs, you reduce expenses. So a lot of the food that's in those restaurants, they're cheap foods. You look at, dollar value menus and all this other stuff. So it's cheap food. You can't expect to feed your body with cheap food and expect for it to react in a great way. It's just not going to happen. Another thing is this: when you're learning how to eat, learning how to choose good food, is I see a lot of people in my local grocery store here, and I can virtually, and this is nothing bad, if I put on a blindfold and I went and just felt around in a person's shopping cart, I can tell you if that person is overweight or are they on the road to being overweight just by feeling around and seeing what's in their shopping cart. And here's why. Most of the things that you find in a box or a bag, which is what a lot of things come in the grocery store, have a lot of preservatives. They are filled with toxins. And toxins are the things that disrupt the body. It makes us gain weight and things of that nature. So what you really want to learn is the joy of cooking your own meals. When you cook your own meals, you know what's going into it. You know how it was prepared. A lot of the times we don't know how things are prepared. We don't know if they're frying it. We don't know if they're baking it. We don't know if they're microwaving it. So you have no idea what's going on with your food if you go to a restaurant and you just know that it comes out to you and you're ready to eat. You have no idea the fillers. You have no idea the additives of the preservatives or anything in there. And you want to know that. And when you cook, you know exactly what is going into your food, and you know that your food is going to be the best possible food it can be. So here's the takeaway on this. Learn how to cook. If you don't know how to cook, you can take community courses. I've seen a lot of community courses that come in the mail here in Broward County where I live, where they have cooking courses. And these courses aren't something that you have to pay $200-300 for. They're very cheap courses. You can go in there and you can learn about those. The second thing is read labels. 99.9% of people do not read labels. And if you read labels, if you pick up something in a grocery store and you can't pronounce that, put it down. It's a chemical. Our bodies are not made to intake chemicals on a daily basis. Food is just supposed to be food. You pick up an apple is an apple. It's not an apple with citric acid or chromium picolinate or whatever. I'm just saying something off the top of my head here. But it's just an apple. Lettuce is just lettuce. It doesn't have to have all these different chemicals and different preservatives in it. So again, learn how to cook and you'll be healthy. You cannot be healthy if you're depending on someone to make your meal for you, or you're depending on a box or a bag. This has been Darren McDuffie, aka the Fat Man, helping you become perfectly healthy and toned. I will see you same fat time and same fat channel. Later.